Welcome back to the weekend warm-up, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thirsty Thursday, everyone. We have some lovely questions.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I know. It's because we're doing this double recording thing back to back.
I know.
Since we're jet setting girls.
We're booked and busy.
We're booked and busy.
So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, we got time. We don't have time.
Okay. First question. Do either of y'all creep on your exes? I'm so embarrassed that I do. I'm in a happy relationship and I love my boyfriend, but I just find myself, especially when I'm bored, just wondering what they are up to. Like exes from high school. Ha ha ha. LMAO, is this normal? Did you do this? How can I stop? Lots of questions on that one.
Wow,
lots
they're
of
coming
questions
at
on
me.
the tail end. Lots of questions.
I feel like I was being
end.
interrogated.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you creep your exes, like irrelevant ones?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, if they're an ex, then they are irrelevant.
Yeah.
So they're all irrelevant, but I do.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Totally. How could you not? I mean, it's not like something where you're checking every single day, every single week. That's a bit obsessive.
Even if you're talking to other people?
What do you mean?
Like you have a new boyfriend. Are you checking what your exes are up to?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Probably like every 6 months or a couple months go by, I'll be like, I wonder what blah, blah, blah is up to. And I'll just take a look. Honestly, it's harmless. It's not like...
Yeah, I feel like
But that's where I'm coming from it at. So maybe there's... You know what I mean? When I'm creeping on an ex, it's not like, I wish we were what we once were. Like, I'm more just like, oh, did you get a dog? How's your family? Like, just curious, because you did care about them.
Yeah.
At one point, but I also creep, irrelevant exes.
I creep a lot of...
Stop asking me this question. I creep everyone. I creep on...
Say, I feel like
let's
I'm
be
always
honest.
just
I gotta drop the facade.
I'm always stalking random people on Instagram. Like there are some people I just keep up with for no reason. They're just micro influencers in my life. Yeah. But they're just random people from high school and shit.
Yeah. I just be checking up on everyone. Here's the thing. I listened to a podcast the other day, the What I Will Say podcast. It's a Taylor Swift podcast. And she said that this is a pipeline, so stay with me. When queer kids were in school, they would gossip to see who else was queer. So therefore, gossiping is a part of gay culture. Therefore, since I'm also gay, everything is my business. So I can really just kind of keep an eye on everyone. And if you disagree, it's honestly homophobic.
It's Pride Month?
And on Pride Month. Actually, no, it's
not anymore,
not Pride Month anymore. So you can be...
Oh my God, yeah.
You can be as fully homophobic as you want now.
Terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I actually don't really. I did when it was relevant to me.
Yeah.
I was if I had a crush on my ex still. So I feel like I don't know if I don't stalk my exes. Oh, that's not true. Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
We've built an honest environment here at the Weekend Roundup.
Is this normal?
Yeah.
Sure. Did you do this? Yes.
Yep.
How can you stop?
You don't.
You don't have to. I mean, just don't let your boyfriend find out. Because he'd probably
obviously.
be weird about it.
Yeah,
obviously.
For sure. It's a harmless thing, just out of curiosity.
It's just never that serious.
We're at the point where you can know anything about anyone at any given time. Of course, we're going to use that.
You're going to Google them.
But clear your search history afterwards.
You have to be cool about it. You have to be cool about it.
Don't think too deep on it if it's not deep. Don't make it deep if it's not deep.
But if you're worried about it, I'm wondering maybe it is a little deeper, so just maybe check in with yourself, right?
Yep.
Yeah? Fair? Okay. Sweet.
Moving on.
Next question. Will I look like a stalker if I start going to my ex's gym, or should I just not give a fuck? My ex and I broke up 2 months ago. We used to go to the same gym, but since breaking up, I started at a different one to avoid awkwardness. It was a very messy breakup. The gym I've been going to just recently shut down for good, and the closest gym in that particular chain is now 20 minutes away, the same distance as the old gym I was going to with my ex. The old gym was significantly cheaper and open 24 hours, which works better with my schedule. My BF went to our old gym first, but to be honest, I'm tempted to just sign back up for the sake of convenience and to save money. Should I just say fuck it and start going to the gym again, or would that be crossing a line? Should I even care? I know he would be pissed, but I mean, it's a popular gym and he doesn't own it. We're not on speaking terms whatsoever, and I still despise him, so no chance of me getting sad if I run into him. Please let me know.
I think we have different opinions on this one.
Okay, you go first.
I say go to the gym.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, let me go on about it.
You can back up your...
I say go to the gym because it makes more sense for you. Like, I think your ex should no longer have a relevance on your life. Now, I know that's a little bit easier said than done in this situation, but like you said, it works better with your schedule, closer by. It's open 24/7. You know your ex. You know your ex's workout schedule. Get your own workout schedule that isn't opposed to that. And if you do run into him, the gym is a public space that is meant for everybody. And if there anything that is said to you, you're like, well, my gym shut down. It's a totally logical reason.
Yeah.
It's not a random switch up, you know? So for that reason, I say go, because that's what I would do. That's how I would do it.
Fair. Okay, so here's my red flags with the question.
Yeah.
Because this is what struck me. First thing, I guess in order of going through it. So the ex went to the gym first, and I think in a breakup,
there's territories.
You do win in a breakup, any kind of breakup. There's spots that was your person and their person, you know, or their spot and my spot. So it's like, okay, that's, in my opinion, that's their spot. I think they would win the gym in the breakup. Even if you went together, they had the gym first, you know, and like you left the gym for a reason in the first place, you know, so fair, right?
I guess I never really thought about that since maybe the small town vibe, there is only one of everything.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, this is like, you get to pick multiple gyms.
No, like it's like, I mean, I think that's just their space. And it's like, you going there seems a little unfair in the sense, like, that's probably their spot, you know? Like, they seem like they go to the gym frequently, like, at least in my experience. I'm kind of coming through with personal experience here, but that's their spot. I don't know if you should intrude on that.
That's true, because I think, like the gym is supposed to be your zone where you're in your space. That would be the last thing I want on my mind. Like, oh, is my ex going to be here, whether it's you or him?
No, exactly. And it's like, for
I
me, if you,
that.
It's like taking someone to a restaurant and then they start going to the restaurant all the time, but it's like your favorite restaurant. It's just rude. Like, it's like, that was my spot, you know? Like, I can't relate to the gym.
What if that guy that you went on the pizza date with that you don't talk to anymore started going there all the time and posting
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd be like,
really?
I'd get to live. I mean, okay, but this is different because that was like,
True, that was one date.
That was one date. This is like a whole relationship. They said, here's actually my other.
That was an example of us just going off and around. Nobody else got that.
Yeah, I know. But it was also a very messy breakup. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like, and you know, he would be pissed. Okay. And yeah, he doesn't own the gym and it's a popular gym, whatever, but you know, he would be pissed. So I feel like it's almost a respect thing to just like not go, you know, do you really want to open that wound? And also you said, this is my last thing that was a red flag. I still despise him. So no chance of me getting sad if I run into him. No chance of you getting sad, but if you despise this guy, you're probably going to get a little riled up and mad. Like, is that worth your energy?
I saw it as like a little inspo, you know, we'll go up a weight.
I mean, maybe, but like,
it would get tiring after a while.
Like, do you really, that's just constantly going to be in the back of your head. It's like, to me, it's not worth the hassle. And
when you're working out, you're going to be like looking around the gym to see if they're there. Yeah. I'm thinking of it from her side being like, oh, do you really want to do that? Like, I was trying to think of her convenience. Like, your ex shouldn't have a say on the convenience, but I get what you're saying.
I 100% agree with that. And I was thinking that. Like, I was like, fuck that. I would go to the gym. Like, but it's like, okay, for your mental health, is that good? I don't know.
Yeah.
You despise him. And here's the thing. If you despise him, you're not over it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not over it. I mean, like,
indifference is when you're actually
indifference is when you're over it. So it's like, yeah, you despise him.
And if you don't agree with us, you're not indifferent yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, you can hate him or whatever, but it's like, you obviously still care in some way, in a negative way, in a positive way. So that was my analysis of that question.
I think it's a really solid one.
But I totally understand if you do end up going to the gym. Just let us know how it goes.
Yeah,
I'd like
I think
to hear it.
You just got to take what we say and decide for yourself. Yeah.
But I also do say, like, he doesn't own the gym, and yeah, like I get that standpoint too. That's usually how I look at things. But I'm just feeling reflective today, I guess. I'm feeling reflective. And I'm looking at my mental health in new light. Trying to. Do you want to read the next one?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, girlies. So my boyfriend of 3+ years love language is physical touch, and he likes to show his love through sex and intimacy with me. While I believe my sex drive is high and our sex life has been good/frequent, sometimes I just don't want to have sex.
Fair enough.
4 exclamation marks because she's serious.
Fair enough.
Throughout our relationship, there has been times where he's gotten upset with me if he's in the mood and I'm not, and we've had multiple fights about it since, and he takes it so personally. I just want to know how you would both deal with this situation because I love him a lot and I don't know what else I can do or say if I'm just not in the mood for intimacy. This is a super solid question. I'm shocked we haven't gotten it earlier.
This is kind of a tough one.
It is tough.
Like, because it's not easy.
No.
Especially like having me saying it's tough because it's not easy. Preach.
And she's so right for that.
And
you're so true.
And that's why I speak my truth on this podcast.
We sound like
week.
those TikTok podcasts.
No.
Where, the guy where he's like, have you guys ever thought about how in nightclubs the demand for alcohol is high and the only place to get alcohol is in the nightclub? And they're like, who gives these people microphones?
Like, that's me right now.
Us.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to come through with some actual advice though. Mm-hmm. Just let me get there.
Yep.
You
talk it out.
Yeah, we talk it out. So you have a lower sex drive than your boyfriend. This is his love language, sex and intimacy. Red flag there. Not necessarily in your boyfriend, but just something I'm noting. Is physical touch as a love language like sex necessarily? Mm-hmm. Like physical touch could be cuddling, holding hands. Like there's other things you can do. Not saying that it's not okay to show it with sex, but I'm just saying like,
I think I don't think sexual intimacy is a aspect of
love
physical
languages.
Touch and love language,
it seems like kind of a.
I think that it is a little bit of a slippery slope into it. Like if your love language is
you're always
touching and cuddling and snuggling, and then
it's gonna lead to other stuff.
Like it's gonna. I feel like
That's
it
fair.
opens up.
Yeah, but just I don't think just don't put a Band-Aid on that. I just noticed that, and I just think don't just be like, oh, it's his love language is sex.
Yeah,
it's like okay, maybe, but like I don't know. I don't want you to be down on yourself and be like, well, it's his love language. It's his love language, But yeah, so he's been upset when he's in the mood and you're not. I mean, here's the thing: can someone get upset when someone else doesn't want to have sex?
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is a fun detail. I've always had a higher sex drive than my partners.
Yeah.
So I did relate to this question a little bit, but the biggest thing was when I stepped out of relationships, like we talked about on here, that I'm like kind of taking a little bit of a break. More so recognize that I think like sex and that kind of intimacy was like, oh, that's how I know that they want me kind of thing, which is not a healthy mindset. So working on that. But
so
back
you
to
think that's how the boyfriend felt?
No, but I'm saying that that's an example of like, it might not just be, I want to fuck. Like, why don't you want to fuck? So it's important to have those conversations.
And you know what?
Because
that kind of rolls back to the love language.
Because some people, might have a misconstrued concept of sex and need an intimacy, and they take that as validation or like want or desire.
Right.
So maybe it's important to have that conversation and see if that's what it's rooted in. Because if it is, that's something that your boyfriend and you can work on together. Do you know what I mean?
No, and you know what? This adds up because the love language is how people give and receive love, right?
Yes.
I'm like, so in that case,
I feel like Brene Brown right now.
We're like, in that case, but that means like, I think especially if this boyfriend has said their love language is physical touch and that means sex to me, that kind of adds up to me. Doesn't it kind of come full circle?
Right. So, but you are right that there is a point where that can be like a huge red flag. It is a red flag. I am a red flag. You need to work on things. Even if it's not malicious, it's still a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag. Like, it doesn't mean they're shitty.
No.
It just means like you should be aware of that.
I wanted to offer that as like a maybe a point on his side.
100%.
But there is, of course, the possibility where that is maybe not the case.
Yeah,
and
I can relate. Like that is frustrating, but I don't think you can get frustrated. It's still not an excuse to freak out and get upset. You know what I mean? Like you can be dealing with your own shit, but don't be like, fuck you for not fucking me. So no head, like
so no head.
You know, so it's like you can't be acting like that.
But one thing I do want to say is that if that is the case, like physical, they are saying, you know, no, it is physical touch. Like I do just need that. Like there's other forms of intimacy that isn't like penetrative or oral sex.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many other things.
No,
like,
that's what I was saying. Like
one of the most intimate things that has ever happened in my life.
Okay.
Was
opening up.
Was my, like, who I was with at the time. I had like the worst day. They knew I had the worst day ever. And I went to their place and they had already run like a full bubble bath for me.
Cute.
Had like a little bath together. They made me dinner.
Like that's intimate.
We watched a movie and like cuddled. We didn't fuck. We didn't do anything like that. That was like more intimate than sex for me. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Because it was like there was intention and there was meaning and it was beautiful and they were doing it without any wanting to get anything out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Such a simp right now.
Yeah, because I'm talking in the past.
I'm so here for
this
it.
This is old Lauren.
I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. That's usually me. No, I agree. And what was the actual question of this? Because we're really hyper analyzing. How would we both deal with this situation if you love them a lot, but you don't know what else to do or say if you're not in the mood for intimacy? So
okay, let's talk about in the mood. Like they're like, I want to fuck right now. They're not in the vibe. What's the sitch? What do we do? How do we talk about this? How do we communicate this?
Should we role play?
I'm down for a little role play with you. It's before 3, but yeah, it's fine.
Okay, who are
I'm normally an after 3 p.m. role player myself.
Fair enough. Who are you? Do you have actually an answer? Like,
no, I thought we could like do it together.
Okay, maybe no role play. I don't know what else to do or say if I'm not in the mood for intimacy.
So if they're like feeling it up, I think you just need to. I don't know.
I think you need a hard stop it, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
you do
but
need to
that's
hard
tough
stop
because then
it hurts the ego.
It hurts the ego. It's like a whole thing. So what if we take some preventative measures?
That's what I was gonna get into.
Right?
How about we talk about it before the cock's out?
Yeah. like I'm thinking we need a conversation.
Yeah.
Or some sexy Polaroids. You could go both ways.
Both ways work for sure.
Right?
Also, don't know. This went over really well with our last one. Might not go over well here. Would you like to say it?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know how old this person is.
If you are
of age,
old enough and feel comfortable, are recommending making your own sex tape is 1 out of 1 successful so far.
On a VHS tape.
On a VHS tape.
Yeah.
Because nothing goes in the cloud. But update the girl that we last said to do that. She got a babysitter and her husband made a fucking porno.
Yeah.
So, saving lives every day. People say our work isn't meaningful.
It's meaningful.
We're like happiness fairies.
I'm gonna send her husband.
Creators. I actually knew who it was when when they messaged, and I knew their husband, and I was like, okay, well, I will.
Wow.
Your husband can send me a fruit basket.
Thank you.
Thank you for having my wife pull out a camera.
No, seriously, but yeah. So I'm thinking, have a full conversation about it, and just be like, look, when I'm not in the mood, and you're trying to force me into stuff, like Maybe don't say force me into stuff.
Yeah, you need to be sensitive.
You need to be very
it
sensitive
because
about it.
This can be very. While it doesn't excuse actions, it can be really rooted in their ego.
Yeah.
And so just know that what you're saying might not be going to your boyfriend. It might be going to your boyfriend's ego. So try to be very gentle in the conversation and not me versus you, but us versus the problem.
Yeah, maybe start with, why do you get so upset when I'm not in the mood and you are?
Mm-hmm. Does it make you think that I don't want you or anything like that?
Is it, are you hurt?
Who do you want to talk?
Just, like have a whole conversation and then like, you know, maybe bring up the Polaroids or something as a little joke at the end to kind of lighten the mood. Like, hey, well.
Don't just whip out the porno because you got to put that in the back pocket.
That's like a joke that might become real, I think, at the end of the conversation. You know what I mean? The delivery has to be on par.
Start with the sexy Polaroids. Do pornos like a month or 2 from now when that doesn't do the trick anymore.
Yeah. Be like, so have the whole conversation, see if they open up. Like, make sure it's don't do it right after this happens. Like, do it in an intimate moment. In the bath. in
Yeah.
bed, you know, when you're just lying there
Having
about
a
to go to
snuggle.
sleep, when you're snuggling, when you're watching a movie or something. Maybe not when you're watching a movie, but you know what I mean? Like in an intimate moment, when
An
you can have
intimate
this
setting.
conversation, and you know their love language is physical touch, so maybe do it when you are cuddling, you know?
Hand
So
on the leg.
hand on the leg, do a little thumb stroke.
Last thing I will say, we do tend to drone on. Sorry.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm
like, you guys must hate us.
Yeah.
Fair.
One thing I will say is that I've been seeing so many TikToks recently, and it's like what to do if your partner's love language is affirmations, or what to
Yeah.
do if your partner's love language is this, and it gives all these examples, and it like words of affirmation is how I receive love. So, and it gave all the examples, and I was like, oh, this is so spot on, hyper niche stuff that I wish my partners
Like
would
you
do
would
for me.
appreciate.
You know, so definitely worth looking up.
No, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Google it.
Google. At the end of the
Me
day,
sounding like my grade
Google it.
my grade 9 teacher who didn't help me with anything. Was
Just
literally
Google it,
just
babes.
like Google it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a specific question about this assignment. What do you mean Google it? Anyways,
that
is that this episode?
That's this episode.
Wow.
We will see you here next Thursday in the same outfits,
See
same
you
spot,
shortly.
because we wear the same things every day like cartoon characters. Talk to you on Thursday.
Talk soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of The Weekend Warmup. Make sure you come back on Sunday to hear some more crazy stories. And I hope that this advice paid off. Never know how it really goes. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell button. And if you're listening, make sure to rate and review.